Hey, Primerica, I'm Robert Crosby, Vice President of Client Solutions at the Primerica Home Office. Today, we're going to talk about the benefits of the PLPP program. I just really believe in my heart that the better we understand the products at Primerica, the better equipped we are to go out and talk about it to our family and to our friends and help change our communities. And so today, it's not a complicated product, but it has amazing benefits that I think at the end of the program, you'll say, wow, this really it just fits hand in glove with Primerica and its protection of our clients and our representatives across North America. Today, I'm at the provider firm of Deming Parker, and it's right down the road from the home office. I have here with me the managing partner, Kevin Almaroth. I think the important things that our people need to understand is that there's one of these at every state. There's a provider firm that handles all of the PLPP issues and concerns right there in your state. And I can't tell you how much I've appreciated your work and the firm's work for Primerica clients here in the state of Georgia. It's just been phenomenal, the success stories we get. So I think we should go into the benefits, and nobody understands these more than you guys who actually provide the services. And I think, as I'm out talking to people, I'm at meetings and I get text messages and emails about how good you guys do. It seems like the access haven't act, we don't, most people don't have access to an attorney, but with this program, it really gives you for a monthly fee the access to your law firm and all of the different areas of the law. But I hear that the consultation benefit, where you get unlimited consultation from people with your expertise. You've been here, a really long time. You certainly understand the laws of the state. And so talk to us about that consultation benefit and what it is and how important it is.
Sure. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It really is all about access to counsel. Most people don't necessarily know an attorney, have one who is a neighbor or family member or a fellow church member or any access to counsel. And so the beauty of this benefit for most of our clients and members is that they have access to counsel immediately to talk with an attorney on the same day that they contact the law firm to request a service, to have that attorney talk with them about the law, gather some additional facts about the matter, talk with them about their options, and then help them come up with an informed game plan for the attempted resolution of the matter. The real beauty of that is that initial consultation benefit affords a member the opportunity to have an issue resolved for them without having to incur any additional out-of-pocket expenses. And it's pretty amazing across the board how the provider firms can impact a client in such a positive way and oftentimes fairly quickly.
We have these protection products like PLPP, and the beauty of the estate planning that's provided, the will, the living will, the power of attorney. Talk about how important those documents are and what you provide.
Sure. So that is a tremendous benefit that is afforded to every member. And that is that they can contact our office, speak with an attorney in our wills and estate planning division, and talk about their estate planning needs, have a will drawn up as well as an advance directive, which is a combination of a living will and a durable power of attorney for healthcare purposes, have that done for their spouse as well, and have those documents executed in our office for a very reasonable cost if they choose to do that. And then those documents can be updated for them on an annual basis as circumstances change. Everybody should have a will. Not everyone thinks that they need one, but everyone needs a will.
So the healthcare directive, I hear these stories. I'm sure you hear a lot more than I do about the people that don't have those in place. Talk about that importance and that piece that you provide to our clients as well.
Sure. So in Georgia, we have what we call an advance directive, which is a durable power of attorney for healthcare, and a living will, which is basically an instruction to your care providers, medical providers, and family members that you appoint to make decisions in the event that you're unable to do so, or you're incapacitated for any reason, for a short term or a long term. And it lets others know the extent to which you want medical care to be extended to you. And it's such an important document. That's why hospitals frequently when you're admitted for outpatient surgery or inpatient surgery, they'll often ask, and always ask, honestly, do you have a living will? Because that gives them some direction as to how you would like your affairs or your treatment handled in the event you're unable to articulate that.
Right. So if you extend a little bit beyond the estate planning benefits with the PLPP plan, in that there's a probate benefit.
Mhm.
And so I know you talk about the importance of the probate benefit. Let's talk about that for a minute and how that's included as a benefit of the PLPP program.
Sure. So there are contested probate benefits available, and in the event that there is a contested probate matter, that can be provided to the client at no additional charge, or at a discounted rate, depending on the circumstances of the situation. But it's a very important benefit because should an estate be challenged or contested, to have access to counsel, number one, to help you navigate those waters, but then to have representation if necessary in order to help the surviving family members deal with that.
And I can't tell you the success stories I've heard of how good you guys are with handling at a time when you're trying to grieve, but you have business things to take care of too. How good you guys do with that. So that's an awesome benefit that's provided there. So Kevin, one of the things that I love about this program is that it levels the playing field, you might say, for middle America. For your everyday average ordinary person has access to you and your consultation. And so talk to me about the benefit of having you on our side.
Sure. So, and again, we cannot really emphasize more the benefit of access. But beyond that, that access opens up a number of other benefits afforded to a client, particularly under that initial consultation benefit, where clients are not only able to access counsel to discuss the legal matter and to come up with a game plan, but then to have counsel attempt to resolve that matter for them. So, back to your point, Robert, one of the issues and one of the things we see repeatedly with this initial consultation benefit is we're put in a position where we're able to help a client resolve an issue and basically hold an opposing party or opposing counsel accountable to do the right thing. Because oftentimes, without having access to counsel and the leverage afforded by that access, the opposing party has no means, no desire to do the right thing. And so, this really affords our members and clients an opportunity to ensure that they're treated the way that they should be treated, and with minimal outlay on their part, oftentimes no outlay at all.
Wow, that's so good. That's so good to hear. The durable power of attorney, okay, is so important. And a lot of people don't understand the importance of having that in place at any age. And so talk about the durable power of attorney, which is another benefit that you guys provide.
Sure. Yes, the general power of attorney is one that we provide. And it basically affords someone an opportunity to appoint an agent to act in their behalf for any scope of time period. It could be limited in duration, it could be extended in duration, it can be as specific as the principal wants it to be, the grantor of the powers. Oftentimes, it's utilized in situations where you may have an aging family member who wants to ensure that he or she has appointed an agent to act in their behalf in the event that they're, unable to do that.
That's awesome. So Kevin, I laugh a little bit when we talk about this one because it's one of the favorite benefits. It's one of the ones I hear the most success stories on is how the attorneys helped with, let's say a traffic ticket. So what exactly is that benefit and what do you provide?
Sure, it's such a critically important thing, and many drivers don't recognize that. They may get an occasional speeding ticket or a ticket for running a red light or following too closely, and they may not think much about it. They pay the fine, but by paying a fine, you're pleading guilty, and by pleading guilty, it's going on your Georgia driving record in our case. Every state has its own agency that monitors these driving records, and in Georgia, we call it the Department of Driver Services. So under our rules, once something gets reported to the state, the court clerk is responsible for reporting to the state. And once that gets reported to the state, it goes on the driver's record forever. And so that can impact the driver negatively in two ways. One, from an insurance standpoint, And typically that can be a 3 to 5 year event in terms of increased premiums that the client pays for having an incident on their driving record. And two, should they get any future citations, judges and prosecutors oftentimes want to see the driving record to see before they make any commitment in terms of a favorable resolution of that matter. And if there's something on the record, oftentimes a judge or prosecutor is unwilling to dismiss or reduce the pending matter to a non-reporting violation. So it's critically important to keep that record as clear as possible.
Nice. Boy, that really explains it for everybody how important it is. This benefit's huge. And so there's some uncontested divorce, uncontested name change, adoption. I've heard some great adoption stories. Talk about those benefits and how important they are too.
Sure. Those uncontested, what we call domestic benefits, are very important because standing alone, those would be expensive legal matters, whether it be a name change, a divorce, an annulment, it's an adoption. It's going to be an expensive event. And so the PLPP membership affords a client, after a 90-day waiting period, to have access to counsel to discuss their legal matter and to provide representation for handling the event, as long as it is truly uncontested. And that typically requires that the client presents with a written settlement agreement. The attorney will then draft the necessary paperwork, file it. There are no legal fees to the client. However, there are filing fees that are imposed by the court, and any other fees that may be imposed in the case in terms of a publication fee, and then for an adoption or a name change. And those are the client's responsibility, but the legal fees are provided at no additional cost to the member, and that is a sizable benefit.
That's great. So let's talk about the trial defense benefit. Having you guys ready to defend, that's an unbelievable benefit. So let's talk about that value.
Sure. So if a member or a client is named as a defendant in a civil action that's not domestic related, but any other civil action, the first thing they need to do is contact our office. Anytime litigation is involved, a lawsuit's been filed and served, the clock is ticking. In Georgia, in most cases, it's going to be a 30-day time period within which the person who was served has a requirement to file a responsive pleading or an answer. So the first thing they need to do is contact our office. The very first thing we're going to do is ask that they submit a copy of all relevant documents to our office for an immediate review. We will then assign that case to an attorney. A benefits determination is made. Under the PLPP membership plan, a client is afforded, depending on their membership year, anywhere from 60 hours in the first year to 300 hours in the fifth membership year. And those hours are bifurcated or divided between what we call pretrial benefits and trial benefits. And so a client who is afforded those benefits immediately has hours available to him or her for representation in these matters.
Let's talk about I mean, it's an awesome benefit to get 25% off. What does that look like for you?
Sure, that is a real value, and I think sometimes it may get a little overlooked because members or clients may say, well, what's covered? And the truth of the matter is there's not anything I can think of that isn't covered. But, you have to kind of envision a fork in the road. There's going to be certain benefits that are extended at no additional charge to the member or the client. And there are going to be other benefits that are extended at a discounted rate. So under the PLPP plan, what we do is we extend a 25% discount off the attorney's standard hourly rate. So if the hourly rate is $400, the PLPP member pays $300 per hour.
Nice. So I love the fact that everything's covered. You guys can help with everything. It's just what is the benefit that, the benefits that are complimentary and the benefits where it's a 25% discount. So
right.
That's good. I think, as you think about almost everyone, when you get a letter in the mail from the IRS, it's scary. And so the IRS benefit is hugely important because there's nothing better than having an attorney on your side when you get the letter. Talk about the audit protection.
Sure. the best idea is to get counsel involved as early in the process as possible. And so if they contact our office, we're going to first ask them to submit anything that they receive so that we can review it. We'll talk with them about the nature of the legal matter and the validity of it. Sometimes a client may be contesting it in its entirety. Sometimes they may be saying, yes, in fact, I acknowledge that this is indebtedness on my part. And it helps us kind of tailor our game plan or our approach for helping them try to get it resolved. And so then what we'll do is appoint an attorney to attend the audit with them. We know that oftentimes in these situations, the very best defense is to have documentation.
Right.
And so if we can assist a client in preparing that documentation in preparation for the audit, it always helps. Because frankly, in my experience with field service agents with the IRS, they are amenable to trying to get a matter resolved. They're not looking to penalize or punish a member or client unnecessarily. What they're looking to do is resolve the matter if at all possible. So we can help the client come up with documentation. And there are certain benefits that are extended at no additional charge to a client. Beyond that, of course, then they're afforded a 25% discount benefit as well.
Nice. As I think about how long I've had the program, I've talked to you late at night because sometimes things happen after hours.
Sure.
And so there's just such a great feeling about having 24/7 access to the law firm here in Georgia. Explain that 24/7 and how that operates here.
Sure. So if a client is arrested or detained, or they may be dealing with a Department of Family and Children's Services issue where they've come to pick up children or serve a warrant, or you're involved in an automobile accident where injuries have been sustained, members have immediate access to our office through the emergency access hotline. And so what they'll do is they'll call the emergency access number. They'll speak with a client service representative. The client service representative will take some additional information, and then what they'll do is they'll reach out to an attorney in my office. And so we have an emergency access group of attorneys. They handle these calls in rotation. They are available 24/7, and they'll call the office or call the attorney on his or her cell phone, and then they'll patch the client in.
So the PLPP, we've talked a number of times about access, and just leveling the playing field for Middle America. And it's not an individual plan; it actually covers the entire family. So it's the member, the member's spouse or significant other, and their dependent children. And so it's a wonderful program. And what you guys do day in and day out to help support the PLPP clients is unbelievable. And I'm so grateful for not only you, but all the firms across North America that do this day in and day out for our clients. And so, team, I hope you've learned a lot today. I hope you see the value of the program, and I hope you see the value in the program for yourself and your family and your community. This does fit hand in glove. It is a protection program, and I hope you'll use it. I hope you'll integrate this, and I hope you'll go build a great Primerica business. Thanks for joining us today.